Thank you, everybody, for joining this Scylla webinar with the subject of Expo 2020, 7 ways to transform exhibition area into a highly secure business and living community. My name is Shadi Younes. I am a co-founder of Sense5 Technologies. We are a Scylla partner in the MEA region, looking at how to implement their solutions across industries when it comes to security and safety solutions. I'll be joined by an esteemed colleague from a great partner that we have in the region, Milestone. I'll leave Mohammed to introduce himself.
Thank you, Shadi. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining the webinar. My name is Haider Mohammed, and I'm the community manager for Milestone Systems covering the META region, which is Middle East, Africa, and Turkey. And thank you, Scylla, for organizing this webinar and giving me the opportunity to interact with all who have joined this webinar. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, moving forward, for the Expo 2020 is one of the major events that is currently happening globally. And the reason why we chose Expo 2020, because it will be a role model for other countries or other cities around the world maybe to follow afterwards. The motto of Expo 2020 is about connecting minds and creating the future. And while Dubai has been, and even more so in the recent past, they've been an advocate for innovation and creating the next generation of companies that will push the boundaries in sustainability mobility and creating opportunities for a connected world with the real measurable social impact and empowering the youth and their skills to achieve that. Expo is going to transform into a model for living and working communities and maybe setting new standards even for others to replicate and follow. And the reason why we chose this as a model for our presentation today is to show the potential and possibilities that can happen because of this. Now, the cornerstone of all of this is safety and security. And Dubai, although it's one of the safest cities in the world, they always pursue the latest technologies when it comes to security and safety, especially now with the expansion of use of artificial intelligence and machine learning, of course. And with that, I will start by introducing our partner, Milestone, and ask them to introduce themselves as the leaders in video management systems and what sort of solutions they have to be part of this next future, supporting such transformation in Dubai and of course in other cities around the world. I'll leave the floor to Haider Mohammed to take us forward.
Thank you, Shadi. So like you rightly said, the Expo, it's a great spectacle of technology that is on display. For those who are joining this webinar, if you happen to visit the Expo, you'll see the great latest cutting edge technology that is out there, from robotics to IoT to artificial intelligence. So it really shows where we are heading into the whole digital transformation, where Dubai is really leading the industry evolution. It's on display at the Expo. So I'd like to start with talking about the importance of video technology and how video plays a pivotal role in this digital transformation, as Shadi just mentioned. Just quoting some stats, there's around, as per the independent research company, there's around 1 billion devices, video devices, optical sensors basically, that are installed globally. And that is expected to increase every year. By 2025, we are looking at approximate 14 billion devices. So there's huge amount of data, zettabytes and petabytes of data that is generating by these video sensors in the form of video. And that's where we come in as a video management platform and gathering all this data and applying intelligence on top of this data. Next slide, please. Now, again, talking about the importance of video, we hear about the digital transformation, digital twin, the evolution of smart cities. Now, it is very important to understand smart technologies enable smart cities. We're talking about smart technologies that can converge together and in many different ways, and that's how you build these smart cities. Now, again, giving you some stats of these smart cities and how technology tailored around the video data, and when you apply intelligence, how it serves these smart cities. Just quoting some stats on that. 30 in between 30 to 300 lives saved each year in a city of 5 million. That is again a city I'm talking about, the smart city where technology is applied. 30 to 40% fewer crime incidents, 20 to 35% faster emergency response, 15 to 30 minutes faster emergency response time. So these are some great stats, and this really tells you how technology has evolved, how this technology is applied into cities, not just making them safer for everyone who's living in the city, but really changing the way of life, how we respond to the critical situations, how we use technology to save lives, how we apply the technology in terms of whenever there's an unforeseen incident is experienced. So technology is really aiding the way we live in our societies today. And that's how the smart technologies can really build these smart cities. Next slide, please. So where do we come in as Milestone Systems? So Milestone Systems is the industry leader when it comes to open platform video management software. We were founded in 1998, and now we are part of Canon group of companies. We act as a standalone company under Canon ownership. Uh, since video is obviously the most important component for video management systems, we are very proud to say that in the industry, we have the maximum number of cameras that are integrated, which is 11,000 plus cameras coming from 175 plus manufacturers globally. So that really tells you the power of open platform and how we connect all these devices, video devices, optical sensors on our platform to create multiple use cases, some of which we are going to talk about today. Next slide, please. So Milestone X Protect. What is Milestone X Protect? It is our core product. Obviously, it has different variants depending on the feature set, depending on the scalability, depending on the use case. But the whole concept is being the open platform. And when I say open platform, what I mean is we bring in the niche technologies coming from our partners like Scylla to build specific use cases based on custom requirements. So in simple words, you can say Milestone X Protect platform couple together the puzzle pieces of your security installation. Now, security is just not about a camera feed. You are having live view and playback, but as the industry has evolved, it's much more than that. We're talking about smart parking management system. We're talking about artificial intelligence, access control systems, mobile devices. So you can say a lot of these applications of a video technology, and that's what Milestone X Protect platform brings to you. Coupling these technologies together, build specific use cases that can be applied into safe cities, into smart cities, and that's what we bring together by simply simplifying complexity of these systems working together on one open platform, which is Milestone X Protect. Next slide, please. The open platform, just giving you the overview of it. So obviously we have the video management platform that takes all this data. Now, what do we do with all data that is being generated from all these cameras? That's where our community comes in, the technology partners like Scylla. Now, if you see the right-hand side, a solution stack of your customer, you have the hardware layer where all these devices like IoT devices, camera devices, the infrastructure in terms of storage and server where you run your platform. In the middle, there's a platform, which is the Milestone platform. And the top layer is a very critical, the application layer where the partners like Scylla come in. So like I mentioned, we build these solution stack based on customer requirements. And I can tell you that each customer has different use cases, different requirements, and that really the open platform gives us this flexibility to work with partners like Scylla, who comes in and apply this intelligence on top of all this data that we are gathering from these cameras. And when you apply this intelligence with partners like Scylla, then you're creating limitless possibilities. And that's what we are trying to create here. Build the solution stack based on customer requirements, bring in the right partners who can support us build these nice solutions and use cases for our customers by fulfilling these solutions stack. So just to explain you how it all works, you have the hardware layer in the bottom, as you can see, where all the infrastructure partner comes in, providing us the server, storage, networking capabilities, even the devices. It could be optical sensors like cameras, it could be IoT. Then we have our platform that couples this together as Milestone open platform video management software. And on top, the intelligence comes in from partners like Scylla. And as Shadi will walk you through later, how they bring in all this artificial intelligence on the data that is managed by Milestone platform. And that gives us really the unique opportunity to offer solutions to our customer, which are tailor-made for their requirements, which are scalable, which are open platform. So you have all the flexibility to use in the different ways and scale as you grow, basically. And that's the foundation that we set for smart cities, for safe cities. So I'll like to hand it over to Shadi now, who will walk us through the value proposition of Scylla with Milestone together and how we can bring in these different use cases that you can apply in your environment.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. As I said at the beginning, Scylla, I've worked with Scylla for many years, and we as Sensei partnered with them in the region because we believe in their potential and the potential of their partners as well into providing those customized but scalable solutions like Milestone. I mean, Scylla is a next generation AI solutions provider. They are, if you want to call it, the smart layer that sits on top of smart platforms like Milestone. If you look at what Scylla looks at, they have their own proprietary technologies that uses artificial intelligence into building those customized solutions. But at the same time, they extend their reach by using or partnering with heavyweights like Milestone. If you look at it, 11,000 integrations and 500,000 implementations, then there's a big muscle with Milestone in terms of experience and expertise even within their teams to actually customize any solutions that can be built to clients. With Scylla sitting on top of the platform, limitless possibilities that can happen within a security and safety environment. But not only that, but it can be extended to the whole community concept for Scylla. So what the slides we're going to take you through today is about what Scylla does best when it comes to the modules and everything around Scylla technology, because it is AI powered, because it's a proprietary one. I mean, at Scylla, although there are partners, they consider themselves more like the Netflix rather than a DVD player. They connect to the videos and feeds and the data that is collected by the platforms and actually do the smarter analytics on top to give you the solutions that you want. They build the algorithms based on the scenarios and the use cases that you have. You can dig out more of the data that is being collected through smart platforms like Milestone. Next slide, please. Over here on this slide, there are 4 main areas, if you want to call it. We're not talking about the basics of facial recognition and other technologies that can be captured through the cameras, but Scylla does best when it comes to object detection, thermal screening, intrusion detection, and parameter protection. And also they are excellent at anomaly detection and behavior recognition. Moving to the next slide, we look at Scylla because of their proprietary is their response time and how speedy they are in terms of giving us the notifications. Their proprietary technology is based on actual detection, analyzing and identifying, but within seconds, and giving the people behind those screens or the alerts, even if they are not behind the screens, with high accuracy, what is their next best action to go. Next, please. Okay, how it works, if you look at it, Scylla within these three dimensions, if you want to call it, suspicious objects and activity anomaly detection, or whether it's an intrusion and parameter protection, or thermal screening and heat signature analytics. All of these are being analyzed by the solutions of Scylla, and then the information is transferred and the alarms are raised should there be an action be taken next. Next, please. When it comes to object detection, Scylla is, I think, one of the leading in the world when it comes to detection of firearms. Now we know Dubai maybe is one of the safest cities in the world. Abu Dhabi is the same. Probably in some other parts of the world, this might not be the case. And Scylla is more than capable of actually detecting firearms, what types of firearms, and notifying the authorities right away on mobile devices and other alarm mechanisms based on what the video management systems capture, and all of that is happening in seconds. Moreover, any personal sort of protective equipment, masks, helmets, vests, and so on, Scylla is excellent at detecting that as well with very high accuracy. Next, please. Next. All right. Intrusion detection and parameter protection systems. Scylla is also great at doing that. It's the whole point of video management systems and the smartest of platforms like Microsoft is to capture the essence of everything that is happening and give you that wealth of data for you to analyze. When Scylla integrates directly with Milestone, it takes all that information and processes it instantly and live to be able to detect certain situations and parameters, whether a human is passing by, just a simple cat is passing by, whether these restricted areas are protected or not, regardless of a human person available and so on. And again, because most of these video management systems capture the data and some other softwares give a lot of false alarms, it requires a lot of human intervention to know whether that alarm is really false or is there really something happening behind there. Scylla is excellent at this by removing that false alarm detection, by literally eliminating around 99% of those and focusing on what matters for you to take action and response to it. Next. Thank you. Anomaly detection and behavior recognition system. This is another powerful module within Scylla, that when the data is being captured, as the cameras are looking at the crowd and the video management systems are capturing the information, if there is any anomaly or any behavioral disturbances that are happening within crowds, then Scylla is great at detecting that, whether there's a fight, there's a fire alarm, there's an incident or an emergency, and the crowds are moving from one place to the other all of a sudden. Anything to do with anomaly or behavior detection, Scylla is excellent at it. At the same time, any suspicious behaviors as well, they are excellent at detecting, because most of these are already built within their algorithms and solution, and it is ready to be deployed from day one. It's not a rule-based system that actually has to be trained to do this, but rather is built in. Next one, please. When it comes to physical security, I mean, we've pitched Scylla in several locations, I would say, across the Middle East and Africa region. When it comes to physical security, how do we integrate them with Milestone when it comes to airports, when it comes to ports, when it comes to highly sensitive areas? The whole physical security integrated with the analytics and the solution is key and paramount, especially to such critical infrastructure or vital locations. And Scylla, with its integration with a video management system and like Milestone, they can provide this when it comes to law enforcement, critical government infrastructure locations, and some other major events that might be happening within the city, be it official events or even private events. And the way that Scylla operates is that you don't have to change your infrastructure. You don't have to even upgrade your infrastructure if you want to use Scylla and Milestone, but rather we deploy whatever you have and dig out more scenarios out of the technologies you've already invested in. And that's the power of both solutions. The platform and the application are helping you to extend the reach of the current infrastructure and the cameras that you have already installed in your locations. Next. When it comes to drone security, now drones is a critical topic, especially within our region. Some governments allow it, some governments don't. Some governments allow certain types of drones and not the others. But the beauty of Scylla and the way it integrates with video management systems, they've developed their own proprietary solution as well into being able to do the detection and identification even with moving backgrounds. From drones, if you are monitoring an event or if you are covering a certain area for protection and security, Scylla is one of the few that can actually detect and identify items and people, even with a moving background. So the drone solution with a camera or a gimbal that's attached to it can actually do a great job if you want to secure certain areas, if you want to detect certain things or anomalies or restricted zones using drones, because it's far reach for humans to do, and you can do it, of course, in more extended periods. Next. COVID-19 compliance, that's another solution that Scylla has done, and they've implemented in several locations as well, and especially here in the Middle East. COVID-19 compliance is not going to go away. Wearing the masks or not wearing the masks, that depends on every country and the laws they're going to produce. But still, when video management systems like Milestone identify the people and the crowd counting and who's going where, Scylla can sit on top to detect thermal imaging of people, their temperature, and creating alarms and notifications for it. Currently, Scylla is being used in some airports, and whether face masks or not, they're creating alarms for that. Some clients have asked for social distancing measures and scenarios, even on top of within the COVID-19. Occupancy counting, that's another thing to make sure, for example, in events that the right number of security people are attending when it is crowded in certain areas and not the others. So basically rerouting where security personnel need to be. Moreover, in COVID-19 compliance, which can be applied to schools to be able to screen the kids going in and out of school and while they're interacting in the play areas. When it comes to healthcare, same thing, waiting areas in hospitals, people moving around. Making sure, even with thermal cameras, that we are creating that COVID-19 compliance, although non-invasive, because it's all happening through the cameras without, guards and checks and gates and so on. And when it comes to manufacturing plants as well, COVID-19 is very important because manufacturing plants cannot stop and they have to control it, but at the same time in a non-invasive way. And Scylla can help you do that. Next, please. The customers for Scylla, I mean, it's visible to you guys over here, but Daimler is a good one, Muscat International Airport. It's across several industries where Scylla operates. And with Milestone and the integrations they already have in place and the live sites that they have, between both of them, it can help you extend into solutions you've never thought of. The reason why we chose Expo, because Expo is going to convert into a smart, if you want to call it, living and working community. And Milestone and Scylla can help you not only tackle the safety and security part, but it can help you also to extend into the overall living, be it using facial recognition to access certain areas. That will be your ID, or that will be your card within that. Using facial recognition maybe to enter the gym, or using it as a mechanism to do your shopping within that community. Between Milestone and Scylla, it can be utilized with the cameras and the setup that is in there for missing children, missing items, undetected package, and so on and so forth. So it's not only within what we have discussed over here, but rather how can we extend the use cases and scenarios beyond what is currently there in place to make it overall as Muhammad said, a quality of living environment using the smart technologies and truly represent the whole smart city concepts within the area of Expo. I think next we're just going to show you a video of one of the live integrations that Milestone had with Scylla to show you the power of both solutions working together.
Right, exactly. The idea is that both the platforms are fully integrated. It's not that you have to develop something, or it's fully integrated. As you would see in the video, the metadata that gets generated for identification, as you can see, the alarms are coming. So all of that is done, and based on the use case and based on the requirement, it can easily be customized based on what the customer is asking for. But the whole idea is that the technology convergence is there, and as an operator, as an end user, you would use one interface that for your daily operations, and you get all the intelligence on top of it from Scylla, the metadata generation, the alarms and events that you've configured, as you can see in the video here. So the alarm gets generated, you get the metadata along with it that tells you what has triggered it. So operator can easily visualize where he needs to act, and he can take the preventive actions based on the configured alarms and events.
Excellent. Any final remarks, Muhammad, before we open it for questions?
All I can say, like I mentioned, it's the best of both the worlds. Like I was mentioning, we are providing you the platform that manages video and the intelligence on top of it coming from Scylla, and with the flexibility, scalability, and the customization that we can offer, it can be applied for safety and security purpose, but also beyond security as well. We have seen these days a lot of customers are actually using AI-based video technologies like Scylla, not just for security, but enhancing their operations, their businesses. So it's really a very broad use case that we can implement with these two technologies together. We will take any questions if they are there, or you can type your questions here, or even email us based on this screenshot here, inquiries@scylla.ai, and we'll be glad to get back to you with your queries.